The silence before the strike. A ball sits still, right at the center of a colossal stadium. The grass is perfect, the stands are empty, no chance, no crowd, no major media coverage. Seems like just another day in the United States. But something feels different. Something big is happening, and almost no one is talking about it. $1 billion in prize money. 32 of the world's top clubs, superstars like Messi, Mbappé, Haaland, Suarez. All of it happening here. Now, right under your nose, while America tunes into the NBA playoffs, while the NFL gears up for the next season, while the news cycles, obsess over politics, inflation, and elections, the biggest club tournament in the history of soccer is unfolding below the radar. And what if I told you that's no accident? What if this silence was intentional? If you've made it this far, pause everything for a second, because in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover why that ball is just sitting there, and why, once it starts rolling, nothing will ever be the same again. The cup nobody understands yet. First things first, you need to understand what this tournament is. The FIFA Club World Cup has always existed, but in a very symbolic way. Few teams, short format, little impact outside Europe or South America. It felt like a small experiment, until now. Because in 2025, FIFA changed everything. For the first time ever, 32 clubs are participating, not national teams clubs.
The reward for all their work here in Japan, in Yokohama, going into the club of the moment, the club of the year.
Champions from every football confederation across the globe, plus runners-up, strategic invitees, and host country. Representatives. Clubs from Europe, South America, Asia, Africa, North America, and Oceania. A true World Cup for clubs. Want a comparison? Think of March Madness, the NCAA basketball tournament that shuts down America. Now imagine it's not college kids, but Real Madrid, Palmeiras, Manchester City, Al Ahly, Monterrey, PSG, Flamengo, Inter Miami. And instead of student athletes, it's Messi, Dembele, Haaland, Vini Jr., and Lautaro. These 32 teams are battling for a historic prize pool in a month-long marathon across 12 stadiums in 11 American cities. It's the largest version of this tournament ever held, with the biggest budget and the smallest media buzz. Sounds strange? It's not. It's strategic. You're about to discover why the US was chosen, and what this tournament could mean for the future of the most popular sport on the planet. FIFA's smartest move yet. The big question is inevitable. Why did FIFA choose the United States to host this tournament? The short answer: money, infrastructure, market potential. But the real answer is more complex and far more interesting. The US is the last great sporting frontier untouched by global football. While the rest of the world treats soccer like a religion, Americans have long dismissed the beautiful game as background noise. But that's changing fast. In just a few years, Major League Soccer has doubled in size, from 10 teams to over 30. TV viewership has jumped more than 40% in just 2 years. Franchises are building their own stadiums, and investors are treating soccer like a gold mine. The arrival of Lionel Messi at Inter Miami was more than a signing. It was a signal. A message to the world that soccer is here to stay. But FIFA's choice wasn't just about ratings or stadiums. It was about rehearsal. The 2025 Club World Cup is a full-scale dress rehearsal for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, which will be hosted across the US, Canada, and Mexico. It's a way to test stadiums, test logistics, test fan response, test culture, to see without a shadow of a doubt whether America is ready to take center stage in global football. But that's not all, because while the rest of the world sees this as just a tournament, the US sees an opportunity, not just to join the global football scene, but to own the narrative, to produce the biggest events, to set the tone, to control the market, and yes, to cash in. To do that, it's not enough to host a World Cup. You need to plant an idea quietly that American soccer is the future, and make the world start to believe it. The greatest show nobody's watching. Let's talk about who's actually on the field. Lionel Messi, widely considered the greatest player of all time, playing for Inter Miami on American soil, just a few hours drive from your home. Kylian Mbappé, a speed machine with precision and instinct, star of the last World Cup, now wearing the number 7 jersey at Real Madrid. Erling Haaland, a Norwegian powerhouse, Manchester City's scoring monster, stats that feel more like video game cheat codes. These three alone are worth billions, but they're not alone. This tournament brings together the best clubs and players on earth, on the same pitch, in the same window of time, right here in the US. And still, the average American barely knows it's happening. Ever wonder why? Now, listen to this. The tournament's trophy was crafted by Tiffany & Co. Yes, the luxury jewelry brand famous for million-dollar engagement rings. It's engineered to open mechanically, with gears inspired by NASA's space capsules. It's more like a luxury timepiece than a trophy, and it costs more than a median American house. But that's just the beginning. During the first week, temperatures soared past 100 for in cities like Dallas, Houston, and Orlando. Games were paused for lightning storms. Players collapsed from heat exhaustion. Substitutes tried to cool off with wet towels and frozen bottles. Cooling zones were improvised on the sidelines. And get this, while some matches drew 70,000 screaming fans, others had just 3,000 scattered attendees, with empty rows echoing like a rehearsal. It's the biggest club tournament ever held, but it feels like an exhibition match. The infrastructure is World Cup level. The perception? More like preseason scrimmage. It's a paradox, $1 million spectacle, draped in silence. So here's the real question. Is this poor promotion, or part of something much bigger? The impact you won't see on TV. What's left after the final whistle blows? After the cheers fade, the lights shut off, and the superstars return to their multi-million-dollar clubs. Most people will remember the goals, the skillful plays, the club crests on the jerseys, maybe even the price of the trophy. But almost no one will talk about what's being built off the pitch. FIFA pledged $1 million to each host city during this tournament. That means community fields, training centers, urban upgrades, and sports-based educational programs. In neighborhoods where soccer didn't even exist, there are now full-sized pitches with professional markings, new goalposts, night lighting, and even locker rooms. In areas that once had broken playgrounds, now you'll find inclusive spaces for Black, Latino, Asian, Indigenous, and white children, all playing side by side. More than just infrastructure, this is a symbolic transformation. In many of these communities, soccer wasn't even an option. Now it's a pathway to discipline, dreams, and identity. And when you see an 8-year-old boy kicking his first ball on a freshly painted field, with a sparkle in his eyes that no camera can capture, you realize this isn't just a tournament, it's a seed of something far greater than trophies, greater than the game itself. Maybe in 2030 or 2034, one of these kids will be playing for a pro team, maybe even for the US national team, and someone will remember it all began back in 2025, in a tournament almost no one watched. The real game happens off the pitch. So far, we've talked about the tournament, the players, the stadiums, the money, the media. But what if all of that is just the surface? What if what's happening right now in the United States isn't just an experimental event, not just prep for 2026? What if it's the first step of something much bigger and deliberately designed? Let's connect the dots. FIFA has been under pressure, scandals, protests, calls for reform. They need a new epicenter, a new stage, a new fan base. The US offers the world's most powerful media machine, the biggest sports budgets, the most global influence. This is the country that turns every sport into entertainment. The NFL, the NBA, baseball, UFC, even Formula One, once dismissed, has now exploded in the US. Now it's soccer's turn. But pay attention, America doesn't just want to join the soccer elite. They want to shape the future of the sport, from how tournaments are formatted, to who owns the broadcasting rights, to the sponsors, to the storylines. If soccer becomes the next global cultural product, then whoever controls soccer controls global culture. Imagine a 2030 World Cup with more halftime shows and NFTs than fans in the stands. Kickoff times since to East Coast prime time. Rules tweaked for better commercial flow. Sounds extreme, every empire starts with a quiet move, a soft footstep, a rehearsed play, and maybe 5 or 10 years from now, we'll look back and realize it all began in the summer of 2025 in the United States. While no one was watching, the shout no one has heard yet. Remember that motionless ball from the beginning? It's still there. But now, you know what it means, that it's not just a ball, it's a ticking time bomb, a symbol, a silent signal sent to the world. This Club World Cup is more than it appears. It's an experiment. It's a warning. It's a question that hasn't been asked. And the answer depends on us. What are we going to do with this game? Ignore it, like we've been taught? Or see what's really being built in front of our eyes? Because the real goal hasn't happened yet. It's about to, maybe in the next generation, maybe in the next cup, maybe right now, as you're watching this. And if you made it this far, you're part of the few who truly see what's going on. So hit that like button. Share this video with someone who loves sports, culture, politics, or media. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. But most of all, stay aware. Silence is only the beginning, and the next kick could change everything.